Well, an Army veteran and a Republican Senate candidate is blasting Twitter for flagging his July 4th tweet. Retired Army Captain Sam Brown, who was severely burned in an IED explosion in Afghanistan, sharing a photo of himself saluting in uniform with the text, "Freedom isn't free." The tweet also says, on July 4th, 1776, America was born. On July 4th, 2021, we're still the best country on this planet. But Brown says his patriotic post received a warning from Twitter for, quote, potentially sensitive content. Joe Contra is a Fox News contributor and a media and politics columnist for The Hill. Joe, thank you so much for being with us today. This is quite a story. This man has fought for his country. He's been wounded in the defense of his nation. He's a Purple Heart recipient. He's running for Senate. His image, therefore, will be, I'm sure, across billboards and the internet for a long time to come. And yet Twitter deciding not to show that image. What do you make of it?
These are the type of people we should be inspired by, Ben. Instead, they're being smacked down by social media once again. And I wonder if Captain Sam Brown had a D next to his name, if this would be happening in terms of that post. But this sort of post here will actually benefit him, believe it or not, because the number one rule in politics is to attack unpopular institutions, right? IRS, Congress, the establishment swamp, media, and social media, which has basically become a parody of itself in terms of its political activism. But let me give you some examples, Ben, as far as what Twitter has done over the last couple of years in terms of censorship. There was NASCAR's Hailie Deegan. She posts a photo of herself with then President Trump at the time. This is in 2020. And that was flagged for, quote, potentially sensitive content, unquote. Kathy Griffin, who apparently is a comedian, literally tweeted out about assassinating Trump when he was president. She's still on the platform. Trump, of course, is not. And then you had Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader at the time. He tweets out a video, his campaign does, of threats made against him by Antifa outside of his home. And his account got suspended for doing that because apparently criticizing Antifa is a big no-no.
Yeah, not to mention the Ayatollah in Iran, who regularly calls for the destruction of Israel, and the Hezbollah leaders as well. I want to show you the tweet that Captain Brown responded with, because he didn't take this lying down himself. He said, "Hey, Twitter, I didn't realize my face was sensitive content. Ironic, considering I only have 3 tweets and just filed to run for U.S. Senate only hours ago. Yeah. Was it my scars or the fact that I salute the flag? Regardless, neither are going away, and neither am I." You know, is this perhaps also part of the bigger picture, the social media giants just overstepping the mark, and what can be done to rein them in? President Trump, of course, bringing forward that case yesterday against the big three. But what else will change this, reverse it?
Right. Ben, I hate to disappoint a lot watching at home with this answer, but nothing can be done at this point because you have a Democratic House, a Democratic Senate, and a Democrat in the Oval Office. And why would they do anything to injure, to break up their greatest super PAC at this point? Because you look at the donations, for instance, from Facebook and Twitter in the last election, 90% of them went towards Democrats in this situation. And then you look at the money, right? Facebook is up 100 points from the same time last year. Twitter has doubled its stock. There are no mass boycotts going on against these companies. And as a result, the money will continue rolling in. And as long as that keeps happening, Ben, we're going to continue to see Facebook and Twitter just act like this with no due process whatsoever in terms of the decisions that they make by faceless oligarchs in Silicon Valley, Ben.
Well, what is it that overwhelmingly leads these big companies, social media companies, and even corporations to the left? Why are they inherently on the left when they don't necessarily reflect the views of the majority of Americans? But why is that?
Well, let's look about where they're based, right? Silicon Valley, probably one of the most liberal environments you could possibly be in outside of maybe New York and Washington. And then obviously you have younger people working there that tend to go more to the left. And I think once they started to get away with certain things, Ben, like Hunter Biden and the censorship around the New York Post story and his laptop, and the fact that they got away with it completely because traditional media didn't call them out. Fox News did, I did, sure, but not the Washington Post and the New York Times and all of these traditional outlets like CNN kind of stood there and said, well, you know what, we're okay with this. And that was the problem, Ben. Anyway, look, England, Italy on Sunday, my friend, at Wembley. I'm rooting for you guys. You haven't won in a big one in a long time, so hopefully the Brits can pull it out.
1966 was the last, but it's coming home, Joe. It's coming home.
All right.
Lovely to see you. Thanks for being with us today.
Lovely to see you as well. I don't say that to another man very often, but it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.